Okay, so are you looking at different camshafts and you don't know which one to pick? Or are you looking at like a commuter cam, or are you looking for like a high performance cam? Or are you looking for a perfect cam for your high ram or your MSD? Well, in this video, I'm going to drop some nice camshafts that I think that you should pick, and they're going to be at different levels. The reason why I put it at different levels is because there is no one size fit all cam for your Camaro. Okay, so first and foremost, I'm gonna just say, like, I am not sponsored by any company that I name in this video or represent them in this video. And if you got any questions regarding their camshafts, it's best to just go ahead and just reach out to them directly. But for me, based on my personal needs, when I was shopping for different camshafts, I'm gonna just break down to you guys like which was the best one that fits my build and so forth, and it may help you out too. So we're gonna dive into like the very first ones. I would say three, because they're all kind of like the same, and that is the BTR 220 cam, the BTR 225 cam, the Katech Torquer LT1 cam. So that the Katech Torquer LT1 cam is what I have. The reason why I decided to go with that cam, because one, I want to be different from everybody else. I want to experience what this cam does. Not a lot of information on the internet. There's probably like one video, I think, when they actually had a build do it, but there wasn't no content regarding that Katech Torquer cam based on like how I'm using the car. Yes, it's a great cam for the road course, because I have the specs at the bottom here for each cam, but we're going to start with the Katech one because that's the one I have personal experience. But no one having ran that Katech, it's probably as hard or fast as I think I have ran it on the internet in the LT1. And that is because it's a perfect road course cam. It does not lose any torque. When you go into different camshafts actually lose bottom end torque, but they gain it on the top end. But for this particular cam, I chose this one because I have not lost any torque. It gives you a nice torque curve here. I show my dyno graph on the screen so you guys can see it, the before and after. But the reason why I went to it because of the torque. Because of course, when I was using the car at the time and how I'm currently using it, I wanted a lot of torque, but I also want a little bit of top end. So I made up on my top end by going with the MSD intake manifold, porting it. And the cam in the camshaft world is technically like a small cam, but if you're comparing, a lot of people like to compare the LS cams to the LT cams, and you really can't do that. You kind of can, but I mean, consider my cam and the LS, it would be like a big cam. But so the cam performs well that I have at the low end, mid range, and the top end. Doesn't sacrifice much, probably about 10 to 15 horsepower on the top end. But for the most part, it's a perfect cam that you can daily drive to and from the work. You can take it to the track, make some great numbers at the drag strip. It has a good 60 to 130 time. I'm just giving you my 60 130 times, not other camshafts, but they would be all in around the same ballpark figure, because I really tested out this cam to like I know the point where when I go to the next stage, I know what cam that I want. So what do this cam compare to? Well, the Katech, if you're cross shopping around for different camshafts, off the shelf camshafts, you have, like I said before, the Katech Torquer LT1 cam and the BTR 220 cam. The difference between those camshafts is really, if you look at it from the spec wise, is the LSA, which is the lobe separation angle, and the difference of the cam lobe, the intake and the exhaust. I don't know cams. I'm gonna be honest. Like, I don't know cams like specs to let you know like deep down like, oh, where your power gonna come in and all that stuff. But I do know, looking at it wise, like how the cam kind of performed where I wanted to. And these two cams are pretty much the same one. The only difference between the BTR 220 cam, to be honest, is that it gives you the chop that you're looking for. There's a lot of people I know that's looking for the chop, where if you want something for the chop, get that. Get the BTR 220 cam. It's a perfect daily drivable cam. It's a great performance cam, and you can't go wrong with it. It's like a do everything type cam without sacrificing your drivability. When you go into camshafts, drivability is like a very huge deal. So these two cams is not one that's going to sacrifice your drivability. Going up, um, we're going to go into the next level. So that was like level one. I'm going to just tell you guys, like that was level one on the camshaft. We go on to level two. This is where you're going to sacrifice a little, but it's not that much. And that is the BTR 225 cam or the GPI SS2 cam from there. So that's a perfect cam. Those are like close in comparison. And the reason why is that it's very similar to the level one cam that I'll tell you guys that I have, like the GPI SS1 or the BTR 220 or the Katech. They all literally like around there. They're perfect for drivability and so forth. I cannot say that enough. And they make a lot of power, decent amount of power. Now the difference between when we go to level two, I would like to call it, which is the SS2 and the BTR 225, they perform exactly the same as the level one. The only difference is that you'll get the extra 10 to 15 horsepower. Now, where you would get that horsepower, that'll be most likely on the top end. You're gonna sacrifice a little bit on the down low, as far as torque wise, but on the top end, you would get about 10 to 15 more horsepower. Now, whether it's worth it for you, that's up to you. But there's plenty of ways that you can factor in that extra 10 to 15 horsepower by, some people don't mitigate like slipping or spinning, and you can lose that compared to a car that will get some good traction and torque. So that is that right there. The good thing about those SS2 cams and the BTR 225 cams, just like the level one, they're good on drivability. They got some good torque curves, and they rev out perfectly good to 7,000 RPM. So those cams that I mentioned all are good to rev out to 7,000 RPM, and you won't lose any drivability driving around the city or anything like that. So anything below 4,000, to be honest with these cams, you can't go wrong with it. You're not going to sacrifice anything. And I would say that as far as gas mileage, because I know everybody want to worry about gas mileage when it comes to a cam. On my particular cam, on my setup, the way I drive, going through the city, I probably average about 25 miles to the gallon. So that's a pro. But when I'm running on E85, well, that's a little bit different. That's about like 18 miles to the gallon or so. So I'm not getting that much good on E85, but I mean, I'm burning E85. E85 burn faster, and it is what it is. That's where I make the most of my power. That's where a lot of people make the most of their power. They give you E85 numbers, not pure 91 or 93 numbers. So that's that there. Now, if you want to get outside of drivability, if you want to sacrifice the drivability just a little bit for more horsepower, now I say you go into like the level 3 range. And me personally, this is where I'm thinking about, because my car is slowly no longer going to be like a daily driver if I to stay in A. So I'm still going through like different build options in my mind. But if I want to stay in A hardcore, the next level 3 cam that I will go with would be GPI's LT. Is between the no fly cut cam or the fly cut cam. And the reason why I say that is because with the level 1 and level 2 cams, I pretty much, my build is set up where it got ported heads with the cam, so it helps the cam breathe better up top and so forth. But I'm still on stock compression. I did that because I want to see like how the car performs at stock compression before I just go up a point and try to go up to like 12.5 or go to 13. I want to see how the car perform as is, as it sits, because it's just, I want to call like a basic cam, heads and cam pack that everyone will go through, because it's in a lot of people's budget. From there. So the next level, like we said, we're going to like, I call it level 3. And the reason why I call it level 3 is because this is where these particular cams will sacrifice a little bit of drivability. The cams will be a little bit rowdier. And also these cams need compression. You're getting to the point where now the cam needs so much compression where it needs to perform. And these cams, like going to GPI, I would say the fly cut cams and the SS4 cams, those are the cams that need 13 compression ratio minimum. Some of them you can get away with 12.5, but I would just, for NA, the more compression the better, and 13 is like the bare minimum for those cams, because you're going to make a lot of power on the top end. Your drivability may sacrifice a little bit, but it all depends on, I must say that the manual cars like myself, they can handle a lot bigger cam versus on the automatic cars, because you need a big torque converter to handle that. And we'll talk about torque converters later, but usually when people get like a torque converter, I want to say it's a Circle D around crap. I want to say 30,000 or whatever, 3,000 or 3,500. I know I'm drawing a blank because I wasn't planning on talking about torque converters, but that is a huge deal when we talking about camshafts. But I got a manual, so I don't have to worry about that. But when we're talking about camshafts, though, like manual can handle a lot of bigger cams easily, and it's just more affecting on us guys on handling on the clutch. But yeah, but when we're talking about compression ratio, those big cams will sacrifice your drivability. Not too much, but it won't be as simple and smooth like the level 1 or level 2 cams I'm putting in this video. That won't sacrifice your drivability, and you won't be bucking at the light and stuff like that. Yes, you will get some shaking, you will get the chop. If that's what you're looking for, it's best to go there. Best to go with those lower level cams. But if you're looking for horsepower, these upper cams is not going to be too much good for drivability. But everybody is different, you know. But yeah, these cams, like I'm saying, is going to be in the range of, like, you need higher compression. It's going to drink a lot of gas. It's not going to get the best it's not going to get the best gas mileage that you're looking for. So it's not, people daily drive these cams, but it won't be best for everybody because they're going to drink a lot of gas if you're trying to look for something that's efficient. But these are built for major horsepower, big horsepower gains though, because now you're trying to get for the best times, you're trying to get for the best 60 to 130, you're trying to get the best quarter mile time. So now you're going to the realm of building a pretty much like a solid roll, like a top end roll race car, or a race car I should say, or a perfect drag car too. So going that route, all the parts that you need for valve trains, pretty much everybody use the same. You can use LS7 lifters, or you can use Johnson & Johnson's 2021-10 racing lifters. Or I've seen people use Cadillac lifters too. It all depends on your budget when it comes to lifters, because lifters are expensive for some people, but it's considered insurance, especially you go to lifter trades and so forth. But when we're talking about camshafts, it's better to get the best, like get the best lifters that you could put in there to withstand that higher RPM. Because when you're going into this stage of RPM, like your cam can now be able to perform at 7,000 plus. We're going to like 7,200, 7,500 RPM ranges with these camshafts, especially when you're talking no fly cut and fly cutting cams at that point, because again, they need high compression, and NA cars perform well at the top end with that high compression to benefit the most horsepower. You're not going to benefit no horsepower from the low end from 4,000 below, because you already sacrificed that with the cams. After this point, after you get past the GPI LT, the SS4, the LT no fly cut cam, the fly cut cams, at that point you're at a custom cam spec, and I really can like help you there, because now you're dialing in and getting more niche into like your build and what you actually want to do. You cannot have like your drag car, you cannot have a drag car build trying to perform like a road course build, because those two don't match. You can't do it vice versa, but but you can get a nice all around build that can do everything, and that's like kind of like the build that I have. Like, it's almost kind of like a do everything. I can take it to the drag strip, I can take it to the road course, and then I don't have any issues. I'm not sacrificing the drivability. I'm not gonna get the quickest times, depends on what I'm doing. I'm not gonna get the quickest times at the drag strip, but you get a decent 60 to 130 time and so forth. So since I'm at this topic, because I want to wrap it up and don't want to be rambling on, so with my particular Katech LT1 Torquer Cam, the 60 to 130 time out here where I'm at, haven't did it in like a good weather, anything like that, but 60 to 130 time that I did with the MSD coming from the LT2. When I had the LT2, I couldn't break past 9.2 when I had the LT2 intake manifold. Now that was with the ported throttle body. So this is why I was telling you guys, like, when you get the MSD in the 103, or you start going porting, this where it matters. So now when I went with the MSD 103 throttle body, in my same car, same build, nothing changed but the intake manifold. My car now runs a 8.86. In the SS1 Elite, that's pretty much heavy. All I have is Apex wheels, rear seat delete. When I did that run, I still had the passenger seat in, and the DA was about like 3,000 DA. Elevation was at 2,000. So I have that on the screen here for you guys. And then also half mile. See, not too many people doing like that, so I give you guys like real life stats and facts. Half mile for the Cam was a 151 on the half mile. That's what my Cam ran based on the tune that I have. And I'm trying to think of what else information that you will have there. I can't give you road course numbers. That's not going to give you like a good judgment there. But I feel like since everybody big on 60 to 130, that's the best 60 to 130 that I have did within my car. Get us some good traction, and that's a good half mile results. Now, that's a good baseline. If I want to go from there, then I will get like a bigger Cam. But my car is great for daily commutes. It's great for the road course, and it's great for someone that want to have like a little bit of horsepower, a lot of horsepower over stock, but without like trying to like be super fast or deal with the bucking or sacrificing drivability. So like that's going to wrap this video up. Drop a comment below. Let me know what Cam you're running, what Cam you're considering, or what Cam you got in your garage and you're just waiting to put it all together so you can have a nice package and go out here and shred the streets. So like that, man, that's going to wrap this video up. If you guys like this video, y'all know what to do. Hit that like button, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.